How's it going, everybody? Dale from Dreg's Garage here. Going to be doing a little video on some P-pump stuff, some 24 valve, the difference between a 24 valve and a 12 valve P-pump gear housing for the timing. This one right here is off my 24 valve that I will be P-pumping. It's dirty, I know. There's the factory part number, made in the USA from Cummins. This one is a aftermarket one for a P-pump, and I will show you a couple different things about it that you'll probably be surprised. The quality of it and how good it is. And this one is a factory Cummins part that I will show you the differences between this one, and then these two and this one for the 24 valve. I also have an aftermarket front timing cover. These are the housings. Those are my dowel pins. This is one of my P-pumps right here. This is a factory P-pump timing gear. This is a aftermarket one, and I will be selling these on my eBay store, Dreg's Garage Diesel Parts, as well as showing you the differences between them. This one is brand new, and it still has all of the oil that they put on it after they machine it. They used to wrap old guns in this kind of stuff or dip them in it. This one is brand spanking new. This one is old. This was on my 12 valve that had a killer dowel pin come loose and didn't damage the gear at all. The gear actually looks perfect. Just sat outside for a little bit, so it got a little rusty. This one, obviously brand new casting, does have some grease on it to keep it from rusting. The differences I see between these two gears is probably the weight. This one is probably about, I'd say maybe half a pound more. I think due to right here, this where it's machined in the backside, it's actually thicker on this piece right here, where this one is actually thinner. But since I do have a P-pump here, I can actually slide them both on and show you the difference. If it's going to matter, it's not going to matter. Because if you look at them this way, they're exactly the same height, and that's what you want. There's a tapered bore, and so it goes onto that shaft, and then it torques down to spec, and it just the friction of being torqued down on that shaft, it does not slip at all. Where the 24 valve with the VE pumps has a keyway, I believe, as well as the VE pumps. I don't have a VE pump. I've never had one. I would like to check it out, show you the differences between the P pump itself, which is almost, it's like the size of a Honda motor, Well, that's kind of an insult to Cummins P pump, isn't it? But this one right here is a factory one from Cummins. The box has seen better days. It was in a guy's shop. I think he bought it for a customer, and customer ended up backing out of whatever he was using it on. But that is the P-pump box right there for it. This one is the aftermarket box. I've sold about 20 of these so far through my eBay store, and I've had good results with them. I'm going to show you a video soon on those, but for right now, I could take off this nut. And let me tip this baby up. This thing is not light by any means, and it actually is very top heavy. It actually does have a keyway on these pumps, but it does not have a keyway in the factory one or the aftermarket one. See if we can get down in there. You could add one if you want, but that's going to be a very expensive machining process for who's ever doing it for you. I mean, it's going to cost you money to take it to a machine shop and have that done. So let me actually tip this baby right down over the front of my bench, and I'll actually take the factory one. It slides on just like that, and then just gets torqued down. Now obviously there's room, you know, it doesn't look like it goes all the way back because the timing gear housing actually has to be in between this. That's what this thing bolts to. So you can see kind of the groove on the shaft right there. It's kind of hard to see. There's the groove on the shaft that it torqued up to. So you can see that thing right there, that groove. So that's just kind of an indentation of how far that piece goes back and how tight the clearances are on this kind of stuff for the perfect timing for a P pump. We can take this aftermarket one real quick. We can slide it on there. And look at that, it slides almost exactly up to the same spot. Obviously it's not torqued down, but that thing is brand spanking new, and it is the first time it's been handled. Right out of the plastic wrap, right out of the box. Have 4 of these right now. I will sell all 4 of them because I'll just be reusing this on my P pump, and then on my 24 valve P pump I will be probably using one of these just to show the aftermarket of the what's out there for not having to pay the expensive price for the Cummins parts. This one I think I priced it out a while back, and it was around 200, 196 I think it was. This one I will be selling these probably for around 100 bucks. This gear housing, priced it out at Cummins. You're looking at 356 bucks I think on that one. And to be honest with you, the casting is really not that great. I mean, it's a weird type of casting. It's not what I'm typically used to seeing with kind of a sand cast like this one. That is the aftermarket one. This one, same thing. It's kind of a rough, weird casting. I don't know if they use like what kind of mold they use, if that's what they're using. But this one is obviously a sand cast, so it's a little rougher, probably easier to paint than this one, because this one has kind of like a weird, you know, sheen to it. It actually looks like it has a bunch of little micro cracks in it, the way they cast it. But that I will be doing a whole separate video on these 3 coming shortly, and as well as my aftermarket timing covers. Those ones run about 25 bucks, 20 bucks shipping. They're just, everything's such an awkward size that the boxes for them are always kind of they're over the dimensions for, running it with the, you know, send it with the post office, so you pay a little more. You send it with UPS, you're going to pay a minimum anyhow with them. And so, I mean, it's not oversized for them. It's, you know, just an odd size. And so they charge about 25 bucks for that kind of stuff. Same thing with these ones. To beat competitors' prices, I try to list these ones for free shipping. I wish I could do that with all my parts, but it costs me money, and I pay the eBay fees and everything else. This one you can see, this was off the P pump this was off the 24 valve, and this one, see if I can get it here. There we go. Obviously manufactured by Cummins Engine Company for Chrysler Corporation. This is what goes on Cummins 5.9 in a Dodge pickup. This one was obviously April 23rd, 1998. This is the halfway through the year production, and so this is a 24 valve, not a 12 valve. They changed mid-year for these things. Kind of gives you all the specs of the motor, and then tells you all the EPA data for the 1998 model year, and even gives you the Cummins part number for the tag. These tags are a pain to get off with these little rivets. Usually you'll end up bending them all out of sorts and bending them up, and they're just, it's a pain, you know. It looks like it does have a tiny little part number right there. You could probably reorder one, especially you have to go by this number. Sorry about that. You have to go by this number right here. So on these, to reorder, that part number with the engine number, everything is in the database. It tells you everything about this motor. On my end, I use Cummins Quick Serve, which is just an app you can download onto your iPhone or your Android device and search any part that's in that motor and get a replacement, as well as, you know, just find out all the specs about the motor, because right there's all the specs you kind of need. But if you're ordering a new timing cover, a new gear housing, you need that part number. I've learned the hard way on that. You can't just call up Cummins and say, hey, I need this part and for this motor, and the first thing they're going to ask you, oh, do you have an engine number? That is the engine number you need, is that long number right there. This one is 5645 2080. That is for my motor. Like I said, that is for a 24 valve, not a 12 valve. They do use the same studs, so if you wanted to use that part number at Cummins, go ahead. Like I said, the studs are going to run you quite a bit from Cummins. The dowel pins, you're going to pay about $6 a dowel pin. The studs alone, you're going to pay about $4 to $5 a stud. And then if you wanted nuts with it, you're going to pay quite a bit for those too. But I will show you the differences between the 24 valve housing, the aftermarket housing, and the factory P-pump housing. The 24 valve, how it can be modified to run your P-pump if you don't want to spend the money, like $135 for that one on my eBay store. This one you're looking at $300. So you can buy 2 of these for the price of this one, and that's pretty good. So you could do 2 P-pump conversions. You could fix a killer dowel pin issue on a 12 valve before you go to Cummins and buy a factory one. The casting is excellent quality on this one, and I will compare it right now to this one. This one, like I said, it has a very weird finish to it. I don't know if they like acid dip it or something afterwards. Everything's, you know, they got machine surfaces and everything like that. Probably has some water spots from traveling in that box. This one, same thing. Really nice machine surface. Look at that. You can even see the spectrum of light in that machine. That is quality machining right there. Look at that. That's sandcast. That is probably the finest sandcast I've seen. Excellent looking sandcast. I will definitely do a video on these, putting them on my motor, as well as just the differences between the two that you would really like to know. I think that's all I have for today. I've been busy with work. I got the little guy at home and the wife, and so I'm gonna head out. Have a good night. I will try to post a new video as soon as possible of just Cummins aftermarket stuff. As I do have the Ford, the 94 Ford 7.3 IDI turbo, 5-speed. I might be selling the 12 valve with that truck. Just a project that I'm never going to get to because I'm just so busy with the kid and the family. But you guys, I think I made this video long enough. If there's anything you guys want, need, like and subscribe, share. You guys have a good one. Bye.